Welcome to our show, World This Week. Ladies and gentlemen, today our guest is Captain Harihar Prasad, Managing Director, McQuilling Shipping Services DMCC, based in Dubai. Captain Hari is very well known in the global shipping industry. He is highly respected for his work ethics and commercial knowledge. Welcome to our show, sir.
Good morning to you, Captain Mishra. How are you today?
I'm very well.
I must start by commending you that I think you and your team are doing an excellent job. And I think you've probably used or taken the bull by the horns in this COVID situation to actually come out with something innovative. So all the best to you and your team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So, I mean, a brief roundup about what's happened this week. When everyone's been interested about what's happening on the tankers, with the current OPEC cuts and what's, with the unwinding of the storage that was happening even on the ships that were, even if they were not on storage, let's say delays in discharging in the east, slowly the ships have been unwinding. The demand has gone down, as we know, because of the COVID situation. So we've seen overall the market dirty and clean becoming very depressed. And this week has been no surprise. I mean, the market's only gone down further. For example, let's say on the VLCCs, for an older ship, the market reached down to world scale 31. Right? Though the BITR index on that route to say TD3 to China is still around 38. These are pretty low earnings or TCEs for the owner. But that said, the earnings are still around $21,000 to $22,000 a day, depending on the type of ship and the consumptions and stuff, which is still not so bad. And if you go down to the Suezmaxes, again, the market has shown a little bit of increase on the world scale rates for the owners. But with the VLCCs being so depressed, we think that, this rise may not last very long. The Suezmaxes are earning something like $12,000 to $13,000 a day. Aframaxes, momentarily, there's been a small, because the supply has been a bit constricted in the Arabian Gulf. The market again has moved up a little bit. Again, when we say moved up, yeah, we all celebrate the move up, but it's nowhere close to what it was, let's say, in the first quarter. But yes, any move up is good for the market. We all want everyone to have healthy earnings, so the ships can be maintained well and safety standards are maintained. So Aframaxes are probably earning $6,000 to $7,000 a day now. But one good thing in this for, I think, the overall shipping market and for the owners is that, the first quarter, say March, April, the unprecedented earnings that we saw, earnings were, in 80, 90,000, and even on the VLCCs, it went to 250,000 plus. I think most owners have managed to, who capitalized on that market, obviously have made good earnings, which will sustain them hopefully throughout the year. Which is why what we've seen is that though there is a lot of interest now at these levels for charterers to come in and try to time charter in tonnage, there is a lot of resistance from the owners pushing back on the rates because, one, as I just told you, that they have earned enough in those couple of months to pull through the year, even if the balance of the year is not too lucrative. And bear in mind the last 6-7 months, whether it was the COSCO sanctions or whether it was the OPEC increase in output, there has been something which has been pulled out of the hat, which has managed to sustain or push up the earnings. So I think overall, most owners are going to play for the fact that the market might turn around as we go forward, right? That kind of sums it up on this. Clean tankers, market's very depressed. Clean, obviously, direct indication of the demand. And, one big detrimental factor is the fact that planes are not flying as much these days. So that puts down the demand on the aviation fuel, which, correlated. The clean market is very depressed. I mean, again, it's back down into the low single-digit thousand earnings for the clean, regardless of which, whether you look at MRs or LRs. So that is something that's a cause for worry. And of course, going back to what I said, I think even the clean owners had a good rally in March and April. So, but yes, the clean market's also depressed. Unless we do realize that the lockdown is slowly easing, but we need the demand to come back up significantly before the market turns around. But this, not only for this week that we're in discussion, but overall, this is summer, which is normally a depressed season for the tanker demand, right?
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt you in between. You talked about the turnaround. When actually you see the early signs of turnaround?
See, that my guess is as good as yours, because this is not something about demand, supply, or this thing, because COVID, when is it going to turn around? Yeah, I think we are all, like I was just going to say, summer is actually a low demand season overall on tankers. So we're kind of having a double whammy right now, if I may say. We are in a low demand season, plus because of COVID, the demand is down. So will we have a better, Q3, Q4? Time will tell, but a lot depends on how fast and quick the turnaround is to COVID. Your guess is as good as mine in terms of the vaccine. Are more countries going to open up? Are people actually going to travel? Are they going to actually go and fly? Or is it just going to be restricted to getting back to your country, or maybe going back to your place of work if you have been stranded somewhere? That's going to be a very key factor. Is there going to be a second wave or a third wave, right? So a lot of unknowns, but overall, I think there's a lot of resilience in the global mindset right now to fight this. Maybe we've all got more used to it now. So I think people want to come out and try to lead normal lives. So all that, see, it's all, even gasoline, for example. If you're having a lockdown, there's going to be no consumption, because hardly anyone is going to go out in their cars and move around as they used to, right?
Absolutely.
So that's,
I agree with you.
That's being very practical about it. So I think a lot depends on what's going to happen with the vaccine, second wave, third wave. But yes, slowly and steadily, I think the economies are kind of looking up. Look at the stock markets, right? Everything's bounced back. Hopefully, what's lagging behind is the shipping part. And once the demand does gradually start increasing, I think we will see a turnaround.
Sir, would you also like to comment on the dry bulk markets?
The dry bulk markets, we had a good rally the last couple of weeks, but I think momentarily there's going to be a kind of, this week has been a kind of wait and watch, especially on the cargo side, because the rates went up quite a bit in terms of, if I may say, I know it was a depressed market, but it went up very quickly for much to this thing of the cargo moves. So now I think there's going to be a wait and watch. I think we will see a correction, at least a plateauing out of rates on the dry as well. But interestingly, this week there's been quite a bit of activity in because of the last couple of weeks rally run. There's been a good, healthy second-hand sale and purchase market on the dry, which is something, again, I think obviously the people who have the money and vision feel that the market's probably, and with dry is also kind of related to the COVID demand, right, in a bigger scale. So maybe people want to be prepared for the turnaround when it does happen. But yes, this week we think that the rates, especially in the Arabian Gulf region for the smaller sizes, Supramax, Panamax, are basically poised for a correction downwards.
Coming to the last section of our interview, what about the main headlines of the last week?
I think a lot has been said, and about the crew change, especially the permission given by the Indian government, right? I'm unfortunately not in a position to really go into depth. I'm an ex-sailor myself. So having seen that, and the fact that our fellow sailors have now better opportunities and people are actually waking up to see their predicament is very encouraging. So, I think kudos to the Indian government for actually identifying and opening up the doors even bigger. So I hope that I think there's a still, like I said, I'm not dealing with the crew change as such, but from what I speak to friends of mine, there's still a lot of parts of the puzzle that need to be put in place for it to be a lot more smoother. But I hope that the seafarers who are doing a fantastic job out at sea and, longer periods of time with the frustration of even possibly not getting shore leave now, I hope that they are able to, get relieved and come back and somebody else takes their place, because the economy is not good, as you know, and everyone needs the income. So, I mean, the more crew change that happens, the more so-called, frustrated and people who are in difficult situations, seafarers go home. At the same time, the seafarers who are at home actually can go out to sea and earn their livelihood.
Absolutely. We salute them actually for their extraordinary service at this time. Yes, thank you very much, Captain Hari. It was really very valuable actually time. We wish you a very great weekend ahead. And thank you once again for this valuable information.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. And I think much has been said about this crew change. And I just want to say one more thing to the seafarers out there, that all of us ashore, regardless of whether we've been to sea or not, are very grateful for the fantastic job that you guys are doing. And hats off to all of you. And
thank you so much. I'm sure all the our seafarer within, they are listening to this. And thank you very much.
Captain Mishra, thank you once again, and keep up the good work. Please keep coming up with more innovative ideas. It's people like you, I mean, are kind of the glows in this doom and gloom that we see from COVID. So you need to keep up the good work that you guys are doing and keep coming up with innovative ideas. And all the best to you and your team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.